Calamity is no longer an interruption. Order, as we know it, has become soft domination. So ask yourself, does your life belong to you? What are you obeying that you don't believe in? And how much necessary evil before it's all evil? If you felt spiritually misaligned with modern culture and you've been waiting for permission to begin, this is it. Section A, the old world and the new. Observing the old world. The world isn't just broken, it's collapsing in real time. We're told to keep pushing while the climate burns, while our minds fray under constant noise, and while our beliefs rot from the inside out. America has more empty homes than unhoused people, and the largest prison population in human history. This isn't a broken system, it's a perfectly functioning one built on cruelty. We inherited traditions, flags, prayers, and systems. We were taught to pledge allegiance before we knew what a pledge or allegiance was. And while not all traditions harm us, many were passed down with shackles hidden inside. Right now, the start of 2026, almost all of you watching have seen burnout from overworking, shootings become routine, corruption turned entertainment, and survival become a mere privilege as war ravishes the planet. All while the powerful gleefully hoard more wealth than ever and funnel us down a pit of despair. We don't realize that we are more powerful than we've ever been. We are not the first generation to notice the rot, but we may be the last with both the time and the tools to do something about it. What the old world gave us. The old world was built on fear. Fear of difference, of scarcity, and of losing control. It taught us that life is a competition, trust is weakness, love is conditional, and that some lives matter more than others. It rewarded obedience and punished imagination, while teaching us to doubt each other and ourselves. But the old world also gave us stories, tools, art, survival, and beauty. It kept us warm through dark winters and led us to where we are today. We respect those who came before us, but gratitude does not require obedience. Every generation is handed the same responsibility, to build what the last could not. Now, the old world is collapsing under its own weight. It no longer serves the living, it serves only power. Climbing Out of the Rubble declares, our generation is noticing and watching the collapse of the old world. We have the responsibility to shape what rises from its rubble toward love, soul, balance, earth, and peace. It's not radical to say we all deserve a voice. It's radical to say we even have one left. I want to help change that with you. The fork in the road. We live in a time of boundless knowledge and bone-deep exhaustion, left starving for meaning. We're more connected than ever while plagued by loneliness. The same tools that connect us twist our truths, sell us despair as entertainment, and strip us of dignity until hollowness is all that feels normal. But beneath the noise, something else is happening. The new world is not a dream. It's already here, unfinished, rising through the cracks. In gardens with no gate, walls colored in paint, fridges with free food on the street, and people with their integrity complete. Right now, we're at a fork in the road. One path is collapse, scrolling until our minds rot, growing more apathetic and therefore complacent with war, scarcity, fascism, climate destruction, mass surveillance, and mass displacement. The other path is ascension, an earthly return where community, sustainability, dignity, and peace are plans, not dreams. A future on Earth, for Earth, built together stone by stone with rhythm instead of fear. Not everyone will choose this path, but those who do will be building something bigger than survival. Now, we can't walk forward until we name what's holding us back. Section B, Machines of the Beast. The beast, the machine, and what comes next. The system doesn't just fail us, it feeds on our failure. It's not one law or one leader, it's a beast that survives off obedience, control, isolation, and fear. A beast that lies within a machine. The machine itself isn't evil, it is the embodiment of human advancement. The piano and the pen, every sword and every state. The machine is made by man, only we decide its fate. A machine can be your friend. It is not inherently evil. It's letting fear and ego build it for us that brings danger. If the beast survives inside of us, it will rebuild itself everywhere, every time. But here's the truth. A world worth building doesn't start with more choices. It starts with dignity. Freedom is rest without guilt, speech without fear, and a life without begging. A world free of cages, not of bars, debt, shame, or isolation. They told us that world is impossible. We don't believe that anymore, and we never will again. Numbing and control. They don't need to chain you if they can exhaust you. Obedience lives in spaces you don't think you're allowed to question. It waits quietly until you step out of line, then it shows its teeth. You're told obedience is maturity, that submission is realism. That's just how it is. But that sentence isn't true. It's consent. Exhaustion keeps that consent alive. When your energy is spent, your dreams feel irresponsible. Your values feel expensive. Your purpose feels impractical. Every hour in a dead-end job is another hour the old world keeps its grip on you. Numbing yourself doesn't protect you. It feeds your power to the people who benefit from your silence. A numb person doesn't create. A numb person doesn't rebel. And that's why numbing is everywhere. That's why we've built the most distracting environment we possibly could. Fear, distraction, and power. Fear is the leash, and most people don't realize it isn't locked. That's why it is one of the most important tools of the beast. You're taught to fear chaos, risk, and a world free of authority. But for most of human history, we didn't accept the systems we accept today. Fear keeps you from taking risks. Risks are how change happens. Change dismantles outdated machines, and those outdated machines mutate into beasts of domination. Today, they dominate with distraction instead of brute force. Consumerism has replaced individuality. Now, it's how you consume that makes you unique, not how you create. This drains you because creation is your most powerful human trait. Power isn't hierarchical. Power lives in people. You're holding one of the most powerful tools ever made in your hand. Don't use it to escape. Use it to connect. When you reclaim your power, their grip loosens. You can't control others, but you can control how you move. And that's where this climb actually begins. Section C, Values. Truths of the New World. You can find the new world growing around you everywhere. You just have to stop calling it impossible. The new world isn't a utopian fantasy, it's a recognition of reality and a revolution of mind. It's a direction, a set of values we choose to walk toward, even when the path is unclear, even when the old world claws at our heels. This isn't about fixing the world, it's about freeing yourself. Every collapse is mirrored inside. Every act of resistance begins in the soul. Look around. Humans are sharing ideas faster and further than ever before. Find a mutual aid organization where food is prepped and served to your unhoused neighbors, where people help other people and provide resources for survival. If it doesn't exist and you have the ability, you should build it. Find a way to contribute to a better world and commit to advancing to that contribution every day. You hold the power to bring people together and initiate change. Use it. Direct it where it matters. That's the new world. People returning power to each other. People giving what they can and taking what they need. Growing yourself to encourage the growth of those around you. And maybe you think I have an agenda. Sure, we all do. That's kind of the point. I want to live off art, the art that I've dreamed of making my whole life. That's my agenda, liberation through art. But my goal is not to get the most followers. I don't want to write scripture. I don't care about money or numbers or fame. At least not as much as I care about my message. I want this to be a tool. Use it, bend it, build with it. I simply want you to take what you can from this and use it. I may reluctantly be a leader in your eyes, but I remain as someone still standing in the rubble. And now you can see the world I see. Human nature. The first instinct is not to hurt, it's to be held. Therefore, we are born good and shaped by our environment. Your ego forms from what surrounds you. Isolate in nature, away from the feed, and your nervous system changes to breadth, depth, and connection. Move to a city chasing status, and your body learns speed, fear, and comparison. We inherit both care and harm. Violence breeds violence, and love breeds love. They both may be natural, but neither is inevitable. Both must be sown to be reaped. It is your decision as to which one you plant. What makes us human isn't the power we hold, it's how we choose to hold it. Here's the fork inside of you. If you're raised in warmth, sound, and love, you practice those things. If you're raised in status, fear, and hate, you practice those things. So choose deliberately. What kind of human are you becoming? What environment are you feeding your spirit, and why? Do we turn anger into harm, or do we turn it into healing? Do we step over our neighbors in the cold, or do we finally build a world that brings them in for warmth? Rhythm or consent? Dignity for all, or no dignity at all? There is no neutral ground left. Standing by while the beast devours those around you, just so you can stand a little longer, is not survival, it's consent. Defending hatred, excusing vitriol, blaming the vulnerable instead of facing your own fear, calling it realism, remaining stagnant and passive is how collapse becomes policy. If we continue saying it is what it is, as the planet burns, the flames of Mother Nature will consume us, and we will have brought it upon ourselves. This is the line we have to draw. And movements are not built on opinions, they are built on rhythm. Before laws, there were songs. Before borders, there were drums. Music is not just entertainment, it's infrastructure. A speech can persuade, but a song will stick with you. It lives in the body. It repeats without permission, and it carries trust past fear. They can censor platforms, but they will never be able to remove the rhythm in your head. That's why music has always terrified power, and why the fight will be felt before it's ever won. Discipline is the proof. Once you see the rubble, you don't get to pretend you didn't. You are in charge of your actions, and you will be held accountable. By your people, by your work, by the world you help shape, and by history. My climb began by turning away from what kept me down, leaving a job that served nothing but capital, eliminating my routine of laziness, my excuse making, and my overly harsh criticism disguised as honesty. Then I pointed my hate towards hate and my love towards love. This is essential for leaving the old world behind. If you're miserable, don't romanticize it. Figure out why and make a change. Discipline isn't hustle, it's clarity. From being organized enough to understand the trajectory of your walk. Discipline is meant to make life easier and build a reality worth living. We must stop consuming unconsciously, especially media. If you only consume and you hoard your creations, you will not have a voice in this culture anymore. The internet and the world are games of consumers and creators. It's up to you to choose. In whatever field you feel drawn to, study what works. Tune yourself to what resonates. Learn in public and adapt as you go. Reactionaries have weaponized these platforms for over a decade. They are more productive online than anyone else, and they have the resources that we don't. But they don't have something that we have that's crucial, and that is the power of all people. We can't match their funding, but we can match their presence. We can't change the tools, but we can use them for the greater good. Stigmatizing new tools and technology will not get us anywhere. We must master them and use them for dignity, truth, and liberation, to counteract those who use them for oppression, lies, and hate. I'm not offering escape. I'm offering clarity. I'm not offering to carry your baggage. I'm offering a method to lighten the load. I know not everyone has the same capacity to climb. Some of us are holding more weight than others. Some of us are still learning that we even have hands to climb with. This isn't a judgment, it's a recognition. Climb at your own pace. Just don't mistake exhaustion for impossibility. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. To climb out of the rubble, you must recognize it first. Then, you must utilize the fragments you have access to and build yourself out of the pit that you've been forced into. From this recognition, you will be able to change how you operate day to day. Section D. Balance among the climb. Igniting the maker. You've seen the rubble, you've owned your part in it. Now comes the practice of beginning. But first, you must realize you are a creator too. You're not just a consumer. I'm gonna read this directly because it names the shift from consumer to creator better than I ever could. In his book, The Creative Act, Rick Rubin reminds us, creativity is not a rare ability. It is not difficult to access. Creativity is a fundamental aspect of being human. It's our birthright, and it's for all of us. Creativity doesn't exclusively relate to making art. We all engage in this act on a daily basis. To create is to bring something into existence that wasn't there before. You already are a creator. You become an artist when you stop asking for permission and start creating on purpose. This matters because personal discipline fuels creative force. Discipline isn't hustle, it's clarity. It's the decision to build a reality with intention. When you understand that your daily patterns are what shape your life, you see that laziness yields laziness, while intentional practice yields growth. The journey towards your goal must be more exhilarating than the destination itself. So begin today. Stop waiting for the right moment. There is no right moment. Turn your attention from consumption toward creation. Find ways to be productive and joyful at the same time. Build a system in your life that builds a better life. I'll have some links in the description to maybe get you started on that process. Once your personal systems are effective, you can more easily point your energy outward to build better systems in your community and eventually in the new world. Together, we can dismantle the old world's cages and replace them with structures rooted in love, balance, and earth. This is not a call to riot. It's a call to realign. The stakes are real, and time is not neutral. We must pay attention to the urgency of climate change, creeping fascism, and the widening wealth gap. But inner work is the foundation of outer change. We must move from every man for himself to every human for every human. You are a part of that move. Let this ignite your spirit. Hold that burning soul in your mind's eye. And next, we will ground that flame, making sure that it guides you without consuming you. Grounding the flame. Take a breath. Close your eyes, if you will. Picture that burning hot spirit, then build a structure around it. Do not cage the light. Contain it. Hold the flame steady. Balance the energies. This is your yin and your yang, your ego and your soul. And as that image forms in your mind, I want you to recognize this. You are neither of those things. You are the force behind them, keeping them in balance. That is your higher self. And that is the voice that must guide you going forward. Your spirit is the version of you that arises in pure presence and clarity. It motivates you. Your ego is the version of you that tempers. It reality tests. It gives your identity form. The spirit should teach the ego, so the ego can tame the spirit. If your spirit runs wild, you will lose direction. You'll get overly romantic, anxious, speculative, reactionary, or all of the above. You become overly attached to what you make instead of letting it flow through you. If your ego dominates, you grow static in an image of yourself. You lose flow. And you start living in line with how others view you. Your work becomes so detached from your personality that it no longer represents who you truly are. Balance is your responsibility. And balance is nurtured in attention. Attention is a resource, a weapon, a vote, and a currency. It has become the most valuable asset in this new world. So make sure you know where yours is going. Nothing will change if you don't initiate balanced change every day in your life, especially in how you use your attention. Consume to create, because you are consuming to be consumed. There is something you love that you know within your heart you should be pursuing. Pursue it to no end. Let it be what consumes you. Consume to feed that passion and build your life around it. Conscious consumption will lead to conscious creation. Take great care in what you take in, for it shapes the reality you live in. Live accountably to yourself. Be disciplined in your practice. Be intentional with your attention. And understand that you are in charge of yourself, and no one is above you unless you place them there. Because the consequences of ignoring these realities is continued subjugation in an unfair world, a world which we can change. And at worst, it's contributing to the death spiral we are headed in if not enough people pick up their heads and remove their masks. Refocus your attention. Climb forward. Don't look back at the old world, hoping it will save you. It will only pull you down. Look up to the new world. Climb with intention. Be excited and unashamed to put your voice into the world. Be around. Let people watch you grow. Let them feel inspired by that growth. Support others the way you want to be supported. Direct your support to places that support you back, including this video. If this climb has given you some footing, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment with what you're building or what I missed. We have a long climb ahead of us, and our past will be hard to escape. But Earth will remain under our feet. The sun will remain above our heads. With balance in one hand and peace in the other, with love in our hearts, the rhythm of our souls will continue dancing on.